Fan, short for fanatic, is the one who's screaming their lungs out in sub-0 degree temperatures, still believing when the chips are down, and never, ever giving up on their teams or their players. From the closest seat to the worst one, we want to meet you all. This is the American Fan.
What's going on, sports fans? It's your boy Josh Williams back again with another episode of the American Fan 365 podcast. I am, of course, joined by the Blazered. We got some Blazers coming out. You've had a couple the last few episodes that I'm like, okay, I see you, Miss Blazer, Miss Rosine.
You know, I mean, it's chilly out, and also I feel like I'm not, I'm not always. I like to switch it up. I don't want to always be associated with, weed bell bottoms, corset tops and leopard everything.
It's for the best. It's for the best.
No, I'm versatile. You see, I'm universal.
I hate you. You're versatile.
No, but this weekend was good. I mean, honestly, for a sports lover's dream, I had so much. When you come off, and I know both of you understand this, but when you come off, the NFL being done, the Super Bowl, you're like, and then you're like, great, spring break. But I don't know what it is about this year. Maybe because I'm back into college in such a big way. I mean, no, last year I came back into it, but then the WBC and the NBA and then free. Listen, actually, you know what I love? I love that the NFL continues to be a headliner, even though it's not on air, just because of all the free agency, soap opera, housewives.
They're trying to be the NBA now, because the NBA has that wraparound, just like they won't let us take a break. Like, can we enjoy
a reach around or a wraparound?
It's a wraparound. A wraparound. A reach around is this one. You know what I mean?
Only when it comes
Stan O'Neal. The American Fan. Stan O'Neal,
yes,
our guy from New York, met Stan at the Giants game.
Stan is like an honorary. Stan, by the way, you are such an honorary co-host here. Like. You and I, Stan always will DM me and be like, he always checks in on me and he's like, how's about this bullshit? Because he's a Giants fan, as you know, because that's where you met him. And we were talking about Saquon not too long ago because we were both like sweating it. Like, please don't.
Don't go, Saquon, don't go.
No, but Stanny, thank you, heart you, miss you.
Thank you so much for tuning in. But I had to start by, I wanted to ask both of you guys, and this might offend off break. So, did you know that gypped is a slur?
I found that out recently because Whoopi Goldberg.
Yes, that's where I found out.
Give me your tears, Gypsy. Yeah.
George, did you know this?
No, and I use that word a lot.
Yeah, no, like it's especially from the East Coast. It's a word that we say, like, don't gyp me, like. But it's actually.
I'm so over it. Everybody's fucking offended over everything.
I didn't know. I was so shocked.
But who would know? Like, who is that bored and hobbyless that you're like, I'm gonna make a big deal out of this and send strongly worded email to NBC.
Strongly worded email.
I am, and I'm gonna tweet about it, and I'm gonna get. All my Karen friends involved.
Give me your best non-cursing email corporate. Like, go ahead.
Okay. Wait, I've got a couple actually.
Okay, go ahead. Give me one.
It's okay. It's bitch. I know you fucking heard what I said the first time. Per my last email.
That's mine. That was my go-to. Look, George, I don't know if you've ever been corporate, but if someone ever says per my last email, that is literally like all caps. I'm going to come down to your building and maybe murder you.
As stated above.
Yes, as stated above.
And also it's all right, so the equivalent to fuck around and find out. It's
that's the one.
Let's go ahead and put this program through and see what eventually happens.
Oh my goodness. No. My troll of all was like when I would copy everybody.
Oh, you can't.
You just copy everyone. Like
when you CC, listen, there's CCing and there's BCCing. I don't trust a BCC bitch because if you're gonna bring it in the office with a BCC bitch, you better come to my face because now he's on.
Yeah, now I'm activated. I'm activated
now I'm CCing people I have no business CCing, like the shareholders. Oh, we BCCing up in this bitch right now? All right.
I knew that would get a rise.
Per my last email, ho.
Oh my gosh. But I first want to thank each and every one of you guys that signed up for the Jersey Jam. That is our working title.
First of all, I'm going to say this right now, George, your submission, it's giving Frozen. I can't with it. I look at it. I know it's a swingman jersey, and the only reprieve you have, it's Karl Malone, right? But it's giving Frozen. It's giving Let It Go.
Hey, you know what though? As much as I hated that era of jazz because I was a Jordan fan and a Bulls fan. Yeah, those were some hard jerseys. So
100%. No, they weren't. They were ugly as a motherfucker.
The purple ones quietly, especially because now they just brought them back. They just brought. Rose not a fan. I respected it. I was like, but
I would rather sit on a cactus doused in gasoline, completely naked, holding fake Louis bags like those Dooney and Burke, like fake the
Canal Street, the
Fugazi Dooney and Burke bags that look like the pastel Louis. Douse me in gasoline and set me on fire before I ever wear those jerseys.
Oh my God! Oh, here we go. Here it is.
Let it go. Let it go.
Frozen. I hate it so much. But man, we had some really, really good submissions.
I loved it.
A lot of folks, but we got the full 64.
Who is your person that submitted the UNLV jersey? Because I'm a UNLV alum.
So we had both. We had UNLV road and UNLV home from the UNLV
I only
era.
saw one, but I got to tell you, so that's my alma mater. I didn't graduate. I know I look 22. I graduated in December 2001, so their winning years were way before me. But I grew up watching all my dad. And so the Stacey Augmon, Larry Johnson, Grandmama days. And then you have Tark, right? So that's such a big part of like my childhood and college years. When I see anything UNLV, and by the way, Chase Bryner, because I'm gonna at you right now, I'm still waiting for you to find my size for those UNLV Jordan Lows.
Oh, okay. All right.
The gray and reds. They's fire.
But yeah, one was Brian Graham. I coached his daughter Cambry.
Oh, okay.
And then the other one was a friend of mine named Alan. So those were the two UNLV submissions. But we had a lot. I mean,
what's been your favorite? I mean, and I'm not saying this to sway this, but I'm just curious because a non-UNLV submission has been my favorite, but I don't want to, and it's not Georgia's. So I just want to.
There's a few. Listen. Juju submitted the Bulls cursive. So Jordan's rookie season.
That was fly.
I always loved that one.
That was really fly.
Ronnie, who won the Jordan card, submitted the Penny Hardaway black pinstripe Magic jersey.
See, you know what? And it's funny because then I thought it was always corny. And now that looking back,
those are so smooth.
Yo, those are sharp.
They're so smooth, and they really could have stayed with those. They didn't have to switch up and go away from those. But I personally love those. And let's see what else. What were some others? JC from one of our online sports influencers. He submitted the Carmelo Anthony orange.
I love that.
Those were nice. A couple people.
First of all, the Georgetown.
Oh, I was about to say a couple people submitted old school
the Georgetown Iverson for me is my favorite non-UNLV submission. And I'm just so all years now, I'm not voting. And because, I don't think it's fair that I vote.
Okay,
so
I won't vote then.
No, I mean, you can or you can't. You don't have to disclose it. I'm just saying I'm not going to because I don't, listen, I'll buy my own jersey. However, that Iverson jersey is like fucking bomb, the Georgetown jersey.
Well, and we also, let's see, let me think. We had the Iverson, some of the NBA jerseys that we had that weren't Jordan related. Let me think.
I don't like Michael Jordan. I don't like. I'm so like at this point after I know that he banged Larsa 4 times a night. I'm like, you know what? Give me that motherfucking Pippen jersey. But change it to Pippen.
Wait. You want to know the funniest thing? So Shannon Sharp just released. I see why he had back problems at the end of his career.
I saw that. He said he was plagued with back problems.
Oh my gosh. Let me hear. So here we go. So some of the NBA jerseys we had. Fox Taylor submitted the C-Web version of the Kings with Jason Williams. Had a lot of Lakers submissions. From both the new school Lakers stuff to the old school, shadow Lakers.
There he is.
We have a guest.
There he is. I was so hoping he came through. This is my guy, Spider. Hi, boy.
How you doing, Spider?
Hi.
How are we?
There's an East Coast connection right here.
So
I'm going to tell you a story really quick before Spider. Before I'm going to let Spider introduce himself, but really quick, this is what a small world it is. I met Spider, how long ago, Spider? Like 5 years ago?
No, I'd say it's probably longer than that.
All right. So we live in an area of a town where we're not far from one another. And there's like a local place that we used to go to, right? And I'd known Spider for a few years. And I went back. I always used to go back east. I always used to go back to New Jersey and New York for St. Patty's. And this one St. Patty's, this is pre-COVID, the year before it hit, I was in the financial district. I was at Stout with 2 of my girlfriends. Oh my God, we were just drinking Jameson. We were texting everybody because that's what Jameson makes you do. And then we ran into a group of gentlemen that were very nice. They were like, are you girls alone? Come join us. Super, super nice. And they asked me, they're like, oh, where in Jersey, New York you live? I'm like, oh, I used to be in Jersey City. Now I live in Las Vegas. So like Vegas, our buddy lives in Vegas. Do you know a guy named Spider? I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I know Spider. They're like, we're going to call. I'm going to text him right now. I'm like, text them. But that's what a small world it is. But I met Spider a while ago, and for me to even talk about sports with anybody, you got to know your stuff because I'm not going to entertain you if you don't, right?
That's right.
And not only can Spider, I'll let him talk about his teams, but what I especially love is what a lot of people don't know about me is I'm a huge boxing fan. I like UFC. I'm an old school boxing fan. Like I'm a purist. And the one person that I can talk about it with is Spider. Spider, please, and thank you for coming on. Please tell us everything you want us to know about you. And I want you to tell us what your favorite sport is and tell us about your whole boxing repertoire.
Are you asking specifics?
Yeah, just tell us about it. So this show's called The American Fan.
Wait a minute. Does Spider have his earmuff off? Hold on. I'm gonna get Spider.
I'm not sure if it is.
I got you.
Okay, wait a minute. Now I got it. Okay.
You know what it is? Spider has hose, so it's like you got to catch him between can you blame the girls?
Spider has hose.
Matt, are you kidding?
I don't know about that.
Let me. Don't be trying to out my man on wax.
No. I'm trying to get his stock up. Not that he needs me, but what I'm saying is you got to catch Spider between them Texas. But I will tell you, I love talking boxing with Spider. He'll go. Especially with the boxing you and I grew up with, he knows, oh my God, insight that you and I don't know because he was in it. And again, this show's called American Fan. And the reason I like when I see Spider, I'm like, can you please come on? the podcast, it's because of this reason. You know, we talk about football a lot. We talk about basketball. We talk about a lot of things. I want Spider. I want a deep dive. I know it's probably like not in order, like show flow wise, but Spider, give us your history. Tell us how you love sports, when you started to love sports, what your favorite is, and why.
Okay. First, I want to address her story about talking sports in this local establishment that we would frequent. I don't know if it was so much that we had a discussion, but she would be arguing.
1,000%. This is Roe we're talking about here.
And then myself and maybe some other people that she knows for a long time would get in the middle of the argument. And it was really holding her back from the person that she was arguing with. And but she does have a lot of knowledge about it. New York teams, of course, that she would like, and would show pictures of her going to Dallas Cowboy games as a Giant fan and arguing and sticking up for her beliefs as a fan and whatnot. So it was kind of cool. But that is kind of how we started talking about New York sports and teams.
And who are your teams?
Biggest Yankee fan possible.
Oh, possible.
Possible.
Man, there's a lot of Yankee fans, bro. There's the old school guys out there that seen it all.
Unfortunately, I am the old school guy at this point of life. But I have so much gear and paraphernalia and stuff that if they didn't re-sign Judge or do whatever it took, I would have just burned everything and not been a fan anymore.
You wouldn't have done that.
You and a lot of people, too.
You wouldn't have done that. You'd have been upset. Neither of you would have done any of those things, but you would have been upset. I would have given you your...
I got to tell you, I don't know if I would have burned my shit, but I would have vocalized how unhappy I was.
You would have poured out some liquor for sure.
I
and thank you for such a complimentary intro, Spider.
Oh, you're welcome. I try. But honestly speaking, I would not be a Yankee fan anymore. Like, if you don't do what you need to do to keep the person that you have to keep, I just feel that then you're not interested.
1,000%. How do you feel about Aaron Boone?
Could live without him, but they want to keep him. They're in love with him.
But here's my thing with him. He goes hard for his players. Always fighting with the umps. I love it. But his postseason bullpen management,
it kills y'all every season.
It's like we did all this to get here, and now you have Aroldis. He had Chapman, who gave up 3 runs in 1 inning and thought it was a good idea to keep him in for another. Then we got swept by...
I'm sorry.
See, there's what she does.
Oh, no. Her side eye is elite. It's very elite.
No, but I'm serious. We got swept by the Astros.
Yeah.
But DJ wasn't in there. There was a couple things happening, but Chapman gave up 3 runs in 1 inning, and he decided to keep him in for another. I literally, and this is the second year, because the season before that, I think it was Severino, gave up against the Astros, I want to say 2 runs, and then because we were tied then, and then they took over and he kept Severino in, and this was in the 6th or 7th. I just don't understand the bullpen management in the regular season. Listen, I can't imagine what you have to know because I'm definitely not a coach. However, from a spectator point of view, I watch and I'm like, my guy, are you kidding? You know what I mean? But Aaron Boone goes hard for his players. It's the postseason bullpen management that's fucked us up now. No?
Yeah. I would say you're right. He's a very loyal guy. So if he thinks you deserve to be in there, he just keeps you in there, like the Hicks thing. And I like Hicks. He's going to get one more chance here, but because he carried them through a playoff series 2 years ago, he gets another chance. But Boone is almost like he plays not to lose, so he makes a lot of mistakes on the decisions he makes.
That's a great point.
And he feels like if I make this move, then they're going to complain that I made that move and it didn't work out and we lost or whatever the case is. So that's his thing. If the Yankees won 95 games last year, they should have probably won 105 because he made some bonehead decisions.
They won over 100.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm giving you an example. They should win 10 more games than they should have because of the mistakes he's made doing that. But such is life in major leagues and 162 games.
How's about getting us swept by the Astros?
Not happy about any of that. Obviously, they have to take care of that kind of business to start being talked about it being an elite team. Instead, teams not worried about the Yankees in the playoffs. They don't think they have enough pitching. They come in, we'll beat them easy, and they do it, and it's not good.
You know what I wanted, Spider, and I know you'd appreciate this, whether you agreed with it or not. I wanted them to bring back CeCe for 1 year. 1 year. Just give him, like, before the season started, give him whatever money he wanted, all the nutritionists and all the trainers.
He's in great shape. He looks great.
But, and just for like 2 months beforehand, give him all the pitching coaches, give him all the trainers, nutritionists he wanted. Get CeCe in to close it out for 1 year. I think that would have made the difference.
As a closer, or more like kind of
as a closer,
that new in vogue. Well, see, I guess my thing with CeCe is he always needed. I wouldn't say needed, but he would work himself into games a lot of times. He wouldn't always like be just right on from the very, very beginning of the game.
Yeah, he
like,
would. What do you think, Spider?
What do you think?
Are we talking a few years ago? Or are we talking now?
Now.
Well, we're talking
last season.
I don't know how old he is. I'm going to assume 40-ish, if you guys can find that.
Gotcha.
But I would say now, no chance. I would say now could not pitch in a major league game.
42.
Yeah, I would say no chance.
Justin Verlander is 40. Justin Verlander is 40.
Justin Verlander hasn't sat down on the couch.
And his workout,
That's true.
His workout regimen.
That's fair.
It's fair.
You know, CeCe would have had it been like Nolan Ryan, who did all kinds of stuff in between seasons till he was 50 years old, in essence.
Yeah.
CeCe gained all that weight and gave up. And then he lost all the weight when he was done.
He looks great.
Yeah.
Like he's in great
tremendous.
shape now.
I wish he could, but if they wanted to sign him for a day so he could finish up with the Yankees, that's great. But he can't pitch.
Spider, who's your favorite all-time Yankee?
Thurman Munson.
Wow.
So, like I said, I'm old school.
I'm Don Mattingly. Donnie
Right.
Baseball's
Love
mine.
Don Mattingly and Jeter would be my top three.
Yeah, well, not,
you know,
yeah.
The great ones we didn't get to see live. I actually saw Mickey Mantle a little bit, but Babe Ruth or Lou Gehrig, no. But
Yeah.
it's real tough between Jeter and Mattingly. But Thurman Munson was just a heartfelt thing, and how he passed away and everything was rough when you were a little kid and you had his jersey, and that's why you went to the games and stuff. So
I know that Rose told me that you're such a huge boxing fan.
Oh, wait, I got one more Yankees question.
Okay, go ahead. We'll go Yankees.
you
your
know
favorite-
you can't supersede her, Josh.
I can do what I
Why
can.
do you make me seem like such a ball breaker?
I can do what I can. Go for it, Ro. Yankees
You know,
question.
I was going to stop it now. Who's your favorite pitcher?
Oh, Yankees.
Of a Yankee pitcher?
Yankee pitcher all time. Because for me, it's not even like, for me, it's clear cut. It used to be a debate, but now it's not.
Well, who was yours?
Mariano.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely top three for me. Again, I'm old school, so Ron Guidry. When
Okay.
we were kids, that was the guy you loved, Louisiana Lightning.
My dad, yeah.
Okay.
And maybe Catfish Hunter, who got traded for
Oh
the
my
A's,
God,
but we kinda
Catfish
liked him.
Hunter, yeah.
I just go back. I hope I'm not giving away my age here, but
You're
I
good.
go
No,
back.
but listen, but I love that you. That's why I wanted you hear your depth of knowledge, and because you've seen it all.
Thank you.
Josh and I talk a lot about when it comes to NFL, basketball, and we'll talk about the new rules in baseball, but it's not apples to apples anymore. So it's just a different sport. And like the fact that Mariano got voted unanimously into the Hall of Fame, but
Speaks
Derek
to who he
Jeter
is.
didn't. I'm like, you hate like that one reporter hater.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was just the one.
One guy did it, yeah.
But with Mariano's the first ever, right?
The Sandman.
Yeah,
As
unanimously.
a closer, yeah.
Yeah.
When that term came in, I mean, there were relief pitchers that, if you go backwards, I could name some like way before our time that got in the Hall of Fame.
Spider, how do you feel about like? I know this was a while ago, but how do you feel about the designated hitter position?
I think it's good now that it's in both leagues. It's fair. You know, when pitchers bat, it's a joke. Some guys it could actually hit, but especially for the playoffs when the National League didn't have it and the American League did, it was just not fair as far as the games would go. But I think now it evened it out. A lot of rule changes since we've been around watching baseball.
Oh my God.
To many of them, but
Too many.
I think it's a good rule to
Do
get
you
it
like the
fair.
pitch clock?
No.
I hate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Listen.
Fucking I hate the pitch clock.
I will say every single real baseball fan hates the pitch clock. Because it really does start to tear into the fabric of what is baseball.
Because
you know
we were talking about this, and let me know your thoughts on this. So, Josh, what was the argument the debate you and I were having in terms of players? Like, you and I, we talk about LeBron Jordan.
Sure.
But
Now it's, Roe actually brought it up last week. It was, if we're going to base this pitcher on today's standards of, he had the pitch clock and this guy didn't have the pitch clock, like who's a better pitcher, or you start to kind of pull things apart in that way. It's going to be a different game.
And stolen bases, based on these bases and the shift. It's like, so are you talking about new baseball or old baseball? Because I don't like this. Our old baseball, well, that was real, because that stolen bases, now you're sliding into pizza boxes. And with the shift changing, everybody's like, this is a great idea. And maybe,
that's a rule I would have liked to enact, honestly.
You know what?
Is how many shifts you can have a game, that kind of stuff. Like tactics. Well, first off, if you just hit the other way,
right?
That's the biggest issue. But if dudes aren't going to hit the other way, well, then now let's go ahead and start managing how many times you actually can shift. So then it's like, you can't shift to that guy every time he gets up to bat. So now you got to sit and, he's going to have a chance to really impact the game. But like when they used to shift every chance on Big Papi and stuff like that, it's like, just lay a bunt down. There's no one over there.
It's against their code of life. Like they're not going to take the easy way out.
I have a question for you. So this really bothers me, and I know you'll appreciate this. I don't know how you'll feel about it. So the baseball that we watch, Josh and I talk about it. It like when the batter is stepping off the base. The batters and the pitchers that we grew up with all had rituals. Derek Jeter had a ritual. Like, nobody that's watching baseball is expecting hockey. They're not expecting an hour and a half like this. So they have the rituals. They go back and forth. And a lot of times they don't even realize they're stepping off the bat. They're just like, it's just part of their regimen when they're up on bat. I hate that when they step off twice now, it's a strike automatically. I think it's such fucking bullshit.
That's crazy.
How do you feel about it?
I don't like it. We obviously grew up on a little bit of old school baseball, and how we grew up, you want it to stay that way. But they're doing it for business. They want to speed up the game to get to more commercials. That's what I think. It's about money. But the shift thing, there's been so many plays made on the shift that would have been hits and extend the inning that now that's going to happen. So it's not going to be a time condensing situation because there's going to be more hits now. There's going to be more runs scored. So it's kind of, I don't know, they're just trying to win the fans back to make it more exciting, I think. But some of those rules I'm not.
I just think it's the TikTok culture. We talked about it. It's like they want to make it exciting and wrap it up. And
baseball is not meant to be 2 hours.
You know what? You don't deserve baseball. You don't deserve the greatness of it. Yeah. If that's what if you're looking for instant gratification, because at the bottom of the ninth, when you're watching Yankees Red Sox, and this is the greatest rivalry in sports, don't at me. It is what it is. And then all of a sudden, either team strikes out because the batter just instinctively, because their body is just like, it's muscle memory. You step off the fucking base. You know why? Now the other team is going to go, that's not valid. And I don't like that.
Look, it is what it is. I hate it. I wish that I don't think that we're going to go back, because we saw this kind of coming the last few years with them starting to implement it in the minors and trying to massage it in, and I was like, I'm keeping an eye on that, but I don't like it. It's definitely, like you said, it's for the TikTok culture, but baseball isn't meant to be a 2-hour sport. It's not basketball.
You have three snacks. You take a nap.
Yeah.
It's
so funny. I'm finding more and more people do take that nap, because I feel bad. I'll be like, what? I missed the whole middle of the game.
This is when my nap kicks in. It's usually like in the middle of the third. I'll doze off. I wake up. It's like the top of the sixth. I'm like, great.
Oh my God. No, mine usually comes around the fourth to fifth. And then I look up and it's the eighth, and we were up 4, and now we're in a barn burner, and I'm like, what happened? I have to watch the recap. But We got to move. I got to get Spider on some boxing. We're gonna look to have Leonard Ellerbe on the show in the next couple weeks, and I want to get your thoughts and the keys to victory for Tank Davis, and then also for Ryan Garcia.
Okay, I just want to hit one point. You do realize that the baseball is going to hire people now to look for these rules, like on a team.
Yeah.
You know, like the video guy that says, replay, get a replay of that play. They're going to hire guys to say, hey, this guy stepped off twice. You don't realize it, but he did it. Go to the replay. It's going to be ridiculous at some point. So that's what's going to happen.
I didn't even think about that, but that's such a fair point.
That's bad. Yeah. That's not good. But go ahead. What do you think?
About Tank and...
Yeah, about Tank and...
So I know Tank since he was young. He wouldn't be my best friend, or we're going out to eat tomorrow, but he's been in the gym with me many, many times. Leonard, friend for a long, long time. Watched him grow up and kind of mature in this sport.
I hate you.
I don't know if we could use that term for him, but what a great talent.
He's doing his best.
He's learning now that if you want to make the money, you have to be politically correct and act a certain way. You know, it took Floyd a little while to learn how to do that, but obviously he's mastered it better.
Floyd's doing well.
Floyd just was the villain and then learned how to be politically correct from the Oscar fight. And learned from that fight on.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because I'm going to ask you something later. Go on. Yeah.
And I've been in all of these training camps from like 2000 till like 2014 with Floyd. So I've seen the progressions and how things went and learned a lot of things of the business from these guys. Unfortunately, a guy like me, you get to a certain point, you can't make that kind of money. It's a very difficult sport. But to be around these guys and in the ring with them was a good experience for me. Made a lot of good people. And I see things that you need to do to be successful. And obviously Tank has that. Ryan Garcia is just like, people don't know much about him, but he's been one of the greatest amateurs of all time. He's been in the era with Tank, Shakur, Devin Haney. These guys all boxed each other in the amateurs and took turns beating one another. Teofimo Lopez.
Yep.
So this is the new breed of who's coming up. And I think right now, Ryan Garcia has got his mental state back, and he takes life and boxing very, very seriously. And to me, mentally, that gives him a leg up in this fight.
Okay.
I mean, Tank's a tremendous, tremendous talent, raw power, but he may find himself in uncharted waters.
Some troubled waters in there. Okay.
That's my opinion.
All right.
What I think could happen.
And while we got you here, I wanted to ask you, and we'll go around the room on this. Who are your 5 most exciting boxers to watch, like today, right now?
Today would be, mostly those guys. Devin Haney's kind of not really exciting. But,
okay.
Just to be honest, he's a technician. He's a pure technician. But Shakur, if you watch him fight, the mastery of boxing, he's just tremendous at it. He picks spots and angles that you wouldn't believe. So him, of course, Tank with the knockout power. Teofimo Lopez, I think he lost it for a second, but maybe he's going to get it back now. Another guy that can knock you out with one shot.
That's right.
David Benavidez, of course, who I'm looking forward to seeing that fight this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Tremendous talent. Probably very much the most exciting fighter right now because he just comes to take your head off. And number 5, that's a good question, but to watch Tyson Fury fight is very entertaining.
Yeah.
And he learned how to make a crossover to America, which is very difficult.
Yeah.
And he's very exciting to watch, and he's a tremendous fighter.
He's funny. So, he brings a lot to the table. Ro, what do you think? Who are your 5 must-see boxers today?
Well, the only person that I would add into that is still Canelo for me.
Really?
It's still Canelo.
See, I hate Canelo. I despise
Why?
him. I just despise him.
I love Shakur. Like watching Shakur for me and watching Tyson Fury, it's a throwback to Sugar Ray. It is a throwback to a couple of boxers that I just think that always lit it up.
Yeah.
And you never knew what to expect. So I would throw Canelo in the mix for me because he still got it. It's how bad he wants it. And that's the only thing that I think that shifts it. I don't think he has anything to prove. A lot of boxing fans would say otherwise. I think he's exciting.
I'm one. but go ahead.
I'm behind you and I'm in it.
Okay, all right.
He's not. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
He's not a guy that you think of. Oh my God, he's exciting. This is like, the Mexican people are rooting for their countrymen and this person, and that's it. There's no like dynamic of it. He's a tremendous talent. He's very difficult to beat, but like the guy he's fighting now, that's a joke.
But that's the thing. Okay, see, that's the differential, and that's what I would guess would make it exciting versus not is who he's fighting against. If there's bad blood and there's real animosity and that pay-per-view built up animosity, then absolutely. But if you watch tape of a young Canelo, he fights a lot like Mickey Ward.
Look, when he was younger, I was more pulling for him. But then when I started realizing that he was more kind of, not necessarily, I won't say he's in cahoots. I'm just saying that Vegas seems to like him to win.
But that's what happened to Oscar. I'm gonna tell you that's what happens to us. That's what happened to Oscar. Oscar, I don't say Vargas because Vargas is a little more gritty than Oscar. A lot grittier than Oscar. Would never be caught on with fishnets, but I will tell you, but I think that's what happened to Oscar when you first started watching, and I'm a De La Hoya fan. There's a lot of people that feel like he was so underrated. No. Oscar fell where he fell, I think rightfully so. A young Canelo reminds me of a young Oscar De La Hoya. Right now where he is, his excitement level, because the only fights I'll pay to watch are the ones where I know there's real animosity. And with Canelo, it's, all right, this is what pay-per-view wants, this is what the paying public wants. And now you got to understand, think of the landscape. You have Jake Paul, you have Logan Paul that don't have promoters. They're not doing they're like, I'm going to show you that this shit is bullshit, and I'm not trained as a real boxer, but I'm gonna box you. And what happened? He lost, right? So he lost against a boxer. So I will tell you, Canelo.
You got anybody else, or what? Because you said you're adding
okay.
on.
So currently he got them all of all time.
No. We haven't made it to all time yet. We haven't made it there yet.
No, the only differential that I would have is I would interject Canelo still.
Okay. All right.
My top is Shakur.
Okay. For me, it's quick. I got Edgar Berlanga. I really like him. I want to see him now that, because now that the injury kind of came out and different things, because that last fight was more of a war. But then you find out his lead he messed up his shoulder, and so, he was out there with one arm really. Bud Crawford. Nobody said Bud Crawford.
Well, not at all. I would rather watch my basil grow in my kitchen.
Wow, that's unfortunate.
I'm in a little bit of agreement.
Okay.
Again, sorry not to cut you off. These guys are not excited. They're great.
Yeah.
But there is no dynamic in their fights where it's a war. You want to see a war in this kind of thing and mix it up a little bit. Bud is just so good that he superpowers or supersedes your talents. And basically destroys you.
And then no one will fight him. So it's like that's the reason why I like him, because it's like, shoot, I want to see him fight.
Well, Spence is supposed to, get off the couch.
We've been hearing about it.
Your favorite ones to watch, the most exciting. He's not exciting. So
he's exciting to me because like they can't touch him. Like he knocks him out, or they can't really get to him.
It's not the Tyson era. You're not anticipating anybody to give him a real. A
run for his money?
Yeah.
Okay. Vasily Lomachenko. I love Loma.
Mm-hmm.
Shakur, we all talked about him, and then Tyson Fury. Those were my five. So
I love Tyson Fury. I do.
Yeah, he's great. And like I said, he's once we kind of got to see more of his personality, I feel like that really is what expanded his reach, inside of America. But quickly, so we don't get out of boxing too fast. Who are your top 5 boxers of all time?
Of all time, regardless of weight.
Yes. Regardless of weight.
Mike Tyson, Arturo Gatti, Mickey Ward, Sugar Ray Leonard, Muhammad Ali.
Okay. For me, I've got Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard, Mike Tyson, of course, because I'm a Tyson
We're
baby.
all on the same page.
I'm a Tyson baby. Roy Jones Jr. and then also marvelous Marvin Hagler.
Love Marvin.
Yo, Gotti's not in there? Yeah. Arturo Gatti's not in there?
He was in Atlantic City.
Did you
too
watch
much
the
for
3
me.
fights?
Yes.
It's funny.
I like him.
It's funny because we're all on the same page with that. But Roy Jones was, for a guy that was so much more talented than everyone, he made the fights exciting.
Fair.
Yes, he did.
So even
He put
though
on
he
a show.
destroyed everybody,
Yeah.
and some of these guys today, like a Berlanger or Canelo, don't do that. They don't put, they do their
What
business.
about Prince Asim?
I
Definitely
hate
entertaining.
you.
But everybody hated
Oh my
him.
God.
That's actually funny.
Oh my goodness.
Go on. So your top 5 fighter.
We're in the same with Tyson, Muhammad Ali.
In
Sugar
order.
Sugar Ray Leonard is number 1 for me, over the top for me. Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Arturo, who was a friend for a long, long time, unfortunately. And number 5 for me, I'm going to come up with a name I hope you guys heard of, Joe Calzaghe, who was retired undefeated, destroyed, mutilated Roy Jones, made a goof of it. I mean, you can look up a video. Oh, he completely annihilated him. Hopkins, undefeated. I think he was like 40 or 41-0. He retired at a young age. Could have still went on and just decided to move on in life. He's got a gym in England. He's from Wales, but one of the greatest super middleweights of all time. Undefeated, retired, but stopped at like the low 40-0, 41-0 at a young age too, like low 30s.
I have a question for Spider. Do you think Oscar De La Hoya was overrated, underrated, or right where he belongs in history?
Oscar fought everyone you could fight in his era. Everybody. Sweet Pea Whitaker, Trinidad,
Vargas.
Fernando Vargas. Oscar is top 10 of all time. Doesn't matter the record that he lost to Floyd. He fought Floyd too late. Pacquiao, unfortunately, destroyed him to end his career too late. But he fought everyone you could fight in his era as a champion.
I'm glad you said that. So I'm a Floyd Mayweather fan. I think Floyd is the greatest defensive fighter of all time, and the main argument is he never fought anybody in their prime. What are your thoughts?
That would be correct. Not my personal opinion, but a lot of people I know or have asked me these questions over the years. Did he wait till everybody was too old or out of their prime, like Oscar, Pacquiao? Him and Pacquiao were supposed to fight 5 years prior.
Right.
Never happened.
Who else?
So what was your best? What was your favorite?
Sugar Shane Mosley. Well, just in terms of who he fought when they were too long, and Sugar Shane still caught him, but I mean, he was on one leg.
Shane used to be in the gym. They used to be really, really good friends, Floyd and Shane. Shane would be in the gym constantly. We would go out and hang out. These guys didn't drink, by the way, just for the record books. That is a true story. Never, ever Floyd had a drink. I would say Shane could possibly be the same. I don't know about these days, but took boxing very serious. That was their life, and they were good friends until they fought. And that was the one guy that I always wanted Floyd to stay away from, because in his prime, lightning fast hands, power, fought everyone he could also fight in his era. And obviously you saw what happened. He was a second away from maybe giving Floyd the loss.
Possibly.
So that was your favorite Floyd fight?
I mean, being friends with Gaethje, that was a tough one to digest. That was very, very difficult. And I reached out to Arturo. I was in Floyd's training camp, and I said, this is a different breed of an animal. I'm watching the 24/7 specials, and I'm like, bro, if you think you could walk through this guy, it's not happening. You better think of a different game plan. This is a different breed of an animal. He doesn't get tired. He can actually take a punch.
Yeah.
He can actually take, like, people don't get, like, Floyd had a rock solid chin. He's taking punches if you go back and fights.
He does. See, and I hate it. See, that's the thing with me. I love Floyd Mayweather. And I think that as decorated as he is, he doesn't get his flowers. People don't understand how tough Floyd actually is. And what makes me sad is people that really appreciate boxing that are younger than us will never experience Arturo Gaethje. They'll never watch him fight Mickey Ward. Out of the 3 fights, what was your favorite?
Probably number 3 when Arturo was kind of lit.
I was
out
crying at the end. Like,
and I was at all 3 of those, by the way.
You were?
Oh, yeah. Atlantic City and Connecticut was the other one. But Arturo was out on his feet to keep going. Just not even believable. Surpassed the Rocky movies that you could come up with. I mean, you wouldn't believe this was going on in real life for both of them.
Yeah.
Mickey Ward, all the credit in the world also. And then his last fight, Mickey Ward trained Arturo or was in his camp. They became really good friends.
Yeah, they did.
I hated that movie, The Fighter, about that Mark
They
Wall.
cut right when it gets to the point.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, give me at least one.
The most important point in Mickey Ward's fucking career was fighting Arturo and the trilogy. Wait, you cut that out, but you focus on the toothless women in Boston with 7 kids. You know what? Fuck you.
Hey,
that's
listen, you gotta focus on the toothless women.
Somebody's gotta say it. No, somebody's gotta say it. But how do you make a movie about Mickey Ward and not put in Arturo Gatti?
It's tough, but I will say
no, it's not tough.
Well, look, I think was it a mistake? Yes, but I will say the way that they framed it and how they used his brother and like how the documentary was really a documentary about crackheads.
These Boston
like
people,
that was wild to me. I was like, whoa, wow.
No, man, these Massachusetts people, they love to keep it like in the family, literally. And I'm like, you know what? Nobody.
You stop it, you MTV girl.
I don't like it.
You don't remember from the movie where his girlfriend was like everyone called her an MTV girl?
No, because I choose to block it out because I didn't make it.
It was a good movie.
Because it was a null movie for me. How do you
the real world?
You make a movie about Mickey Ward and you don't put in who made Mickey Ward famous?
No, that's
right.
Well,
that's fair.
Just Mickey Ward, I happen to know his career. He was done, and he fought a guy by the name of Francisco Bajado, who was up and coming guerrilla compared in our day now to Tank and Shakur and this kind of person. And he was trained by Floyd Mayweather Sr. and had all kinds of money behind him and everything. And Mickey Ward was getting demolished and knocked him out with a body shot. Hit him with a body shot, and that was it. And that got Mickey Ward into another. There's a term in boxing. You got to win to get into the spot, to get into the spot, to get into the spot. And that Mickey Ward is a prime example of how that happened. Beat this Francisco Bajado, got another fight, got the Gatti fights, and the rest is obviously history that he turned his life around, his career, and, you know.
That's crazy. Well, to keep it in fighting, I know we're starting to get a little tight on time.
Okay.
Got to talk about UFC 287. Leon Edwards outlast Kamaru Usman. Listen, I was going for Usman. I've been pulling for Usman since the Covington days when I was like, I don't know who this Covington dude is, but I just want the other guy to win. I'll say it was a lot of great accuracy on leg kicks, but I don't really know if Leon Edwards showed me a lot more than just leg kicks in the fight. Were you able to watch?
Well, we're in England. We're in the whole. These people, the whole country is behind them. We, unfortunately, USA, we don't have that here. Not everybody's going to MGM as USA fans to root for the USA guy. There's more people coming, Mexican fans rooting for Canelo and so on and so forth with these people. He's in England. He's going to get the leg up. I do think that now that he was the champ, that Usman did not do enough.
Yeah.
He's good at running his mouth, which is why I do not like him. But
oh, really?
Do not like him whatsoever. I wouldn't mess with him. But as far as fighting goes, these guys just think they're going to walk past these guys who are also in a battle for their lives and don't give them the respect of being in there with them until it's over.
Yeah.
Until it's over.
Yeah.
You need to respect these people before it starts. You know, just the fact that he kicked you in the head or in the neck and knocked you out cold, that should be enough that you respect this guy and be on your toes. But he just ran his mouth the whole press conference. And what'd you do? I beat the shit out of you the previous 4 rounds and this and that. But guy still stood around. You know,
It's fair. Were you able to catch much of it?
I think how you win is how you win. You always say, listen, I always ask you, well, okay, so if, you know, like, I'm going to give you an old school example. So if the Giants are playing the Pats and then Brady was out and it was Jimmy G in and the Giants beat you. Your thing is if we beat you, we beat you.
That's right. You're right.
We beat you.
You know what?
Just
You're
like,
right.
You know, in the old Nintendo boxing game, I'm really aging myself. Fighter Hayabusa was known for his kicks, and you'd kick the other opponent till they were out. How you win is how you win, and it's a win.
You know what? I can't have it both ways.
That's right.
Ro is right. Because I am the guy. If your whole team's hurt and we win the Super Bowl, I don't care. Good luck. Too bad, so sad.
But that's how you are.
That is how I am. So you called me on my stuff, and I have to give you a fist bump on that because that's actually pretty
There's
sick.
a bad expression in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
Ro is right is not really a good expression, but
Twice now. He's come on. I asked him to be on the show, and he's breaking my balls. All right.
That's what makes me and you us, right?
That's it.
But one thing about Ro, all seriousness, she has a lot of knowledge of different sports and stuff for a woman, and she knows old school stuff. She knows
for a woman and
I'm just saying most women are not into it as deep as you. I know a lot of women that know about sports and rules and stuff. You are completely into it. You're emotional about it, passionate about it, which is a good thing.
Always knows her stuff.
Yeah.
Always.
Emotional.
Man or woman, she'll be able to talk you under the table. Go ahead and switch gears to the NFL before we get out. We had 2 big signings. Well, 3 actually. Ro had one as well. To talk about Adam Thielen signs with the Carolina Panthers. 3 years, $25 million. Ooh.
I know.
Are you
mad that he didn't sign with the Giants? Is that one thing? Well, you didn't want
that wouldn't have been a bad move.
We need a receiver. I would have loved him.
Yeah.
Listen, we signed Darren Waller, which listen, as a tight end, aside from his injuries, people forget that he's had back-to-back 1,000+ yard seasons, right? I love it for us. We still need a dynamic wide receiver. And now that the Cowboys signed Brandon Cook, it takes which I do not like. It takes Odell out of the potential algorithm. For the record, I do not want Odell Jr. back. See? You see that? Okay, without me saying nothing, tell us why, Spy, who is a Giants fan, you tell us why you don't want Odell back either.
His time has passed. The injuries. What Odell would be good at right now is like a third down possession receiver. And he's probably a guy that, other than on a cross or something, doesn't want to go over the middle to make those tough catches.
We don't know. We'll see.
I would say that's not his game, but you're right.
Well, because, remember, the play that he got injured on was a crossing route.
But those are designed for him to run away from the
That's right.
That's right.
And he's done that with the Giants. Eli's thrown 10 of those I could point out to you where he did a cross and he ran 65 yards, the rest for the touchdown stuff. Odell is not a good fit for this Giants team.
That's right. And he's not. We need an explosive playmaker that gets the vertical catch like Brandon Ayuk. I don't even say D-Hop. D-Hop doesn't want to run routes, okay? He just wants to catch the ball. Brandon Ayuk is made for a New York market because he's gritty. If he's still there, I want Brandon Ayuk. I do not want Odell Beckham Jr. Also because he's a distraction and will always be.
One other signing, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, moves on from the NFC champion Philadelphia Eagles on a 1-year, $8 million deal, and I, for one, won't miss him. Him leaving the Eagles helps all of us.
Yeah, but that team, you think about it, their OC is different, their DC is different. Miles Sanders is still there.
Some of their no.
Oh, that's right. He left.
Miles Sanders signed with the Panthers too.
That's right. But so much of the offensive line, their defensive linemen. I think 2 of them are gone.
Yep.
Their offense, I think they've got 3 or 4 of last year's squad. Your OC and DC are different. It's going to be different. A lot of your
position coaches are different. Like they elevated, I forget who they elevated from position coach to coordinator, but it's going to be.
Yeah, it doesn't matter though because it's different. Just like with the Cowboys, really quick, they signed Brandon Cooks. You can do what you want. They let Zeke go. They traded for him. They let Zeke go. But as long as you have Dak as your quarterback, and now you have Mike McCarthy making motherfucking plays, they're not. Please keep doing what you're doing. Please.
All about it.
Right?
What do you think, Spider?
Are you an Eagle fan?
No, I'm a Redskin fan, brother.
Okay.
I'm from D.C.
All right, no, I didn't. You were talking about the Eagles, but
No.
You're saying the people that left.
Yeah.
Just remember this: the greatest teams of all time do not repeat or have seasons like the Eagles just had. I don't expect them to do that again this year. People think they can. It's very difficult. You can just go over history. And, the old 49er teams, this Mahomes is a freak show of life in today's time. But look at the Bills. They just keep regressing. They have every tool, every piece.
Why are they regressing? Who's not there?
I don't know.
Brian Dable, Joe Shane.
True, with the coaching staff is what you're talking about. The Eagles are doing to their staff, and that's going to be a problem. But, again, like this guy had a career year of his life. He played better this year, the quarterback in the pros than he probably did in high school when he got recruited. Jalen Hurts got recruited.
1,000%.
To every major collegiate.
Do you remember when they threw the game against the Giants and how bad Jalen Hurts was playing? Because I'll never forget that.
No, when they threw the game against the Redskins.
Redskins, I'm sorry.
I know you won't forget that. I won't forget it either. We got to the playoffs. Spider. However you get there, baby.
That's the name of it. Just get there. But for us now, like the Giants are the team that's going to be the in team. They're putting every piece together. Will they be better than the Eagles this year? Definitely possible.
Yeah.
Redskins are on the uprise. Finally, get rid of these joke quarterbacks that they had.
Look.
Where's Andy Dalton now? Where'd he go again?
He didn't come to my team.
The Red Rocket, 1 year. What did he sign
on the
again?
Panthers.
Panthers, that's right.
Everyone's signing with the Panthers.
He's gonna be throwing to Thielen. Congrats.
Hey, figure it out. Before we get out, tennis. Did you hear that Novak Djokovic can't compete in the Miami Open because he is still unvaccinated? I thought this was Florida. Florida was the state of everything
DeSantis
goes.
is like, I don't give a shit. We don't like anybody.
We don't like you, so you can't compete.
But that's so strange.
That is weird. It's weird. My question is: this 2022? Like, what are we?
I would
talking
think
about
that DeSantis would stick up for him, or there's some kind of legal route he could take. But just look at the vaccination stuff. 3 to 4 months of the world, and the world went haywire. People got fired. People lost their jobs. Families. It's ridiculous. And
that's why it's weird in Florida, though. DeSantis is like
weird, right?
He could be like, no, let him play. I mean,
did he? I know about the situation, but did DeSantis not stick up for him? Is he against him?
No, not that I've heard.
No.
He's not competing.
No.
Wow, I'm surprised he didn't take a legal route, which would probably make everything right.
Well, he tried that in Australia. It did not go his way.
Yeah, but it's not Australia, and it's DeSantis. DeSantis actually is trying to outlaw like black fraternities. So
he's trying to outlaw outlaws. That's like he don't care. He don't care what it is. And the final thing, we got to talk a little bit about March Madness.
I
won't talk about how everyone's bracket is because I know pretty much everyone's bracket is busted. What I will say, and we talked about this a little bit last week's episode.
Yeah.
I did watch the entire Creighton Baylor game, and I don't know who.
Bye Baylor.
I don't know who.
Bye Baylor.
I don't know who that beige boy was.
Beige.
But listen. He was playing like a dude that had no recruitment offers and ended up at Creighton.
See, but
that's how he was playing.
But that's the beautiful part about college basketball, especially March Madness. And can I just make a couple notes like that I just got me off over the weekend? Purdue lost to a 16th seed, which is the second time it happened in history. I was so fucking happy. And New Jersey breaks brackets and hearts. Last year it was St. Pete's. This year it was Fairleigh Dickinson. Now I have to use out though. So my Final Four, I had Texas, I had Alabama, I had Duke, and I had Kansas. In my title game, I still have Texas over Alabama. So Duke lost, okay? But I'm going to tell you something. Some exciting shit. That Kentucky-Kansas game was one for the books. It kept me on the edge of my seat.
Kansas State?
Yeah. That was such
solid team.
That was a good game.
Yeah. Excellent.
I think the biggest thing, especially now, we talk about, all the one and dones and things like that. The thing that I see more than anything now in college is if you do not have a coach that understands how to play or coach in a tournament style, or you have a team like all these one and done teams, the reason that you keep seeing these 1 or 2 seeds lose more than ever is because they're playing teams with fifth-year seniors and seniors and juniors, and they got a team full of babies. And like that Baylor game, like I was waiting for the team to turn it on and actually take the game serious. And Creighton, like you're dealing with people that are playing for their basketball lives. They're not going to play again. I might not play overseas. I'm definitely not going to make it to the NBA. So it's like these are my last moments on a basketball floor with a ref where it means something, and I'm giving it everything I have.
You can't play for a ref. You got to play because you want it. Spider, who was or is in your Final Four, and who do you have winning it?
Well, I'm in the kind of same boat as us. The teams that we thought may get a little further somehow. I don't know how they lost, but they did.
Arizona, Purdue.
Arizona wasn't kind of big on, but Purdue obviously, and Kansas. Everybody was on Duke. I happened to tell friends that Tennessee was so much better than them.
Fuck Duke. I'm a UNLV alum.
Right. So I believe that Tennessee will be in the Final Four. That's about the only one I'm pretty hopped up on. Whoever else gets there of the teams we know, Texas and stuff, they're really solid teams. Kansas State's a good team. They could beat probably anybody in the country. And every year in this tournament, you get guys like that are on Creighton or Marquette that step up and have the games of their lives.
Marquette's a dark horse, I'm going to say.
Yeah.
If they shoot like that.
Yeah.
Look, anybody, right? Well, I just want to thank you guys again for tuning in for another episode of the American Fan 365 podcast. For Spider and the Front Row, I want to just thank each of you for watching. And also, please, we are going to give updates on the Jersey Jam, the Jersey giveaway. So make sure if you're entered, that you're posting, you're promoting.
We'll actually post the bracket of the jerseys that made it either tonight or tomorrow.
Well, I'll be posting today at 2 o'clock. So 2 o'clock our time, 5 o'clock Eastern. That's when the first matchups go up. Everyone should know their matchup, so make sure you're tagging and having people vote for you.
Spider, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, I thank you guys for having me on. I actually got to see it. Ro runs the show. I actually got to see this live, so I'm happy for her. Excellent setup. I appreciate you guys having me on anytime for me. Thank you.
No problem.
You guys don't forget to please follow us on the American Fan 365 on IG and subscribe to us on YouTube, the American Fan 365. It means a lot to us, and we're growing this little labor of love with real fans. There's nothing bought. This is all love. So if you could continue to support us, it would mean a lot. So thank you.
Excellent.
Fan, short for fanatic, is the one who's screaming their lungs out in sub-0 degree temperatures, still believing when the chips are down, and never, ever giving up on their teams or their players. From the closest seat to the worst one, we want to meet you all. This is the American Fan.